Pray. Pray. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
Welcome, everyone, to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, April 6th, 2023. We're about to do a live, in-depth planetary puja using the chart of now based on my current location in the state of New Mexico in the USA. My name is Swamini Valli. I am a Pillai Center teacher and an AstroVed astrologer, and I'm very happy to be hosting this program Monday through Friday on this channel. Dr. Pillai has explained the planets and stars are more than just objects in outer space. There is a divine light being associated with all of them. In doing the puja, we are inviting the positive blessings of all of these light beings to flow into our lives and also into our world. To do the puja, I'm using the South Indian style layout of the chart. I have drawn the chart in chalk on a little blackboard that's sitting on a side table, and I'll use that for doing the puja. In addition to the blackboard chart, I also have a container of water, a lit tea light, an incense stick, a bell, a raisin, and a bowl of fresh flower petals to do the puja. I start with using the water and sprinkle some water on all four sides of the blackboard chart to purify the space for the puja. I sprinkle a little bit of water on top of my own head to purify me, and I send a few drops of water out into space to symbolically purify all the participants, whether you're watching it live or later on a replay. Now we start by invoking Ganesha, the archetype who removes obstacles and also is a patron of astrology. Om Shring Gang, Om Shring Gang, Om Shring Gang. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles from this puja, and we ask him to remove all obstacles in the lives of the participants, in the physical, mental, emotional, financial, and spiritual areas of your life. I ask him to remove obstacles for you now and always. Now we do a short Tamil chant, asking all of the planets to be beneficial today towards us. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Arvarku Mikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Arvarku Mikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Arvarku Mikave. We ask all of the planets to be beneficial today towards us and towards our world. We thank St. Gnanasamunda for teaching this chant, and we are grateful to Dr. Pillai for sharing it with us. Now we turn our attention to the time elements that are active right now in my local area. We start with honoring the planet that rules the day. Today is Thursday, ruled by Jupiter. I put flower petals on Jupiter on the blackboard chart. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the star that the moon is in. At the moment, the moon is in a star called Chitra, a star that's said to be shining like a jewel. I put the flower petals on top of the moon on the blackboard chart. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Next, we honor the Tithi, or the moon phase. In my local area right now, it's the first waning moon, called Pratipat in Sanskrit. I put the flower petals on top of the moon. Om Pratipat Devye Namaha. Om Pratipat Devye Namaha. Om Pratipat Devye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that's ruling the hour. In my local area, this is Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we acknowledge the yoga and karana time elements. For these, we don't use flower petals. Dr. Pillai said for these, we would say their names in Sanskrit 3 times each. The yoga that's active right now is one called Vyagata, which has energies that are fierce. Vyagata, Vyagata, Vyagata. And the Karna that's active right now is one called Balava, which has energies that are spiritual. Balava, Balava, Balava. Now we turn our attention to the chart of the moment. At the moment, the ascendant, represented here with the letters AC, is in the sign of Misha, or Aries. This means that Aries right now is the sign coming up on the eastern horizon in my local area. Dr. Pillai said we would start the puja, this part of it, with honoring the planet that rules the ascendant sign as a gesture to its importance at the moment. Aries is ruled by Mars, so I start by putting the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Today in Aries is Mercury, Rahu, and Uranus. Mercury and Rahu are in the same star, so we will honor both of those planets before we honor the star. I start with Mercury and put the flower petals on him. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Next, we honor Rahu for being in Aries. I put the flower petals on him. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Mercury and Rahu are in a star called Ashwini, a star that can give blessings for speed and also healing. I put the flower petals across Mercury and Rahu on the blackboard chart. Om Ashwinihe Namaha. Om Ashwinihe Namaha. Om Ashwinihe Namaha. Ashwini star is ruled by the Ashwini Kumaras, horse-headed twins who have tremendous healing abilities and are sometimes even called the physicians to the gods. I put the flower petals across Mercury and Rahu. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Ashwini star is ruled by Ketu. I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Now we honor Uranus for being in Aries. I put the flower petals on Uranus. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Uranus is in a star called Bharani, a star symbolized as the yoni, the female private parts. This is a star with a tremendous amount of divine feminine Shakti or power. I put the flower petals on Uranus. Om Bharanihe Namaha. Om Bharanihe Namaha. Om Bharanihe Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Yama, an archetype of justice. We ask Yama to help us to be just and merciful towards others, and we ask for justice for our world. I put the flower petals on Uranus. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha or Aries, a zodiac sign that's a fire sign and has great active energies. Today containing Mercury, planet of business, planet of communication, and Rahu, planet that helps us to think outside the box and make friends with new technologies, and Uranus, planet that helps with success in life, higher intelligence, and also astrology. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign, going in a clockwise direction around the chart, that has a planet in it, is Vrishabha or Taurus, which today contains Venus. Venus just entered Taurus earlier this morning in my local time. So we welcome Venus into Taurus, a sign that he rules. He's very comfortable to be there. So we start with honoring Venus, and I put flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Venus is in a star called Kritika, a star that has energies for telling the truth, for living the truth, for seeing the truth. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Kritika's star is ruled by Agni, the archetype who rules the fire element. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Agnihe Namaha. Om Agnihe Namaha. Om Agnihe Namaha. Kritika's star is ruled by the sun. I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Taurus, which is Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Vrishabha or Taurus, an earth sign with very grounded energy and a great love of luxury and comforts. Today, containing Venus, planet of happiness and joy and beauty, and planet that thoroughly enjoys material plane comforts and luxury. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Mithuna or Gemini, which today contains Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Mars is in a star called Ardra, a star symbolized as a teardrop of compassion, a star that motivates us to help relieve suffering of others. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Ardraye Namaha. Om Ardraye Namaha. Om Ardraye Namaha. Ardra's star is ruled by Rudra, a fierce form of Shiva who comes to destroy negativities. Om Rudraye Namaha. Om Rudraye Namaha. Om Rudraye Namaha. Ardra's star is ruled by Rahu. I put the flower petals on Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Matuna or Gemini is ruled by Mercury. I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Buddhayeha Namaha. Om Buddhayeha Namaha. Om Buddhayeha Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Matuna or Gemini, zodiac sign with a great range of energies, today containing Mars, a planet that is both a healer and a protector. We ask Mars to bless all those who work in the healing field, those who are doctors, nurses, those who work in hospitals and clinics, first responders, and we ask Mars to bless those who work in alternative forms of health and healing. We also ask Mars to bless all the protectors, the firefighters, the police, the military, security guards, anyone who's working to help keep things safe and protective for all of us. We thank Mars for doing this. We pause for a moment and reflect on Mars sitting in Gemini. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Kanya or Virgo, which today contains the moon. I put flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. The moon is sitting in a star called Chitra, a star that's said to be shining like a jewel, very brilliant energy. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Chitra star is ruled by Twashtar, an archetype who is a master craftsman. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Twashtarye Namaha. Om Twashtarye Namaha. Om Twashtarye Namaha. Chitra star is ruled by Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangaleha Namaha. Om Mangaleha Namaha. Om Mangaleha Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Virgo, which is Gemini. I put the flower petals on Gemini. I put the one that rules Virgo is Mercury. He also rules Gemini, but I'm putting the flower petals on Mercury. Om Buddhayeha Namaha. Om Buddhayeha Namaha. Om Buddhayeha Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kanya or Virgo, the most analytical and logical and organized of all the zodiac signs, today containing the moon, which is our mind and our emotions and our receptivity to light. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Tula or Libra, which today contains Ketu. We honor Ketu, and I put flower petals on him on the blackboard chart. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Ketu is in a star called Swati, a star symbolized as young shoots of plants blowing in the wind. Om Swatye Namaha. Om Swatye Namaha. Om Swatye Namaha. Swati star is ruled by Vayu, archetype who rules the air and the wind element, and also is the father of Hanuman. Om Vayuve Namaha. Om Vayuve Namaha. Om Vayuve Namaha. Swati star is ruled by Rahu. I put the flower petals on Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Libra, which is Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Tula or Libra, a zodiac sign that has energies for balance, fairness, harmony, today containing Ketu, who is sometimes called the saintly planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto. We honor Pluto, and I put the flower petals on him on the blackboard chart. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Pluto is in a star called Uttara Ashada, a star that can give long-lasting blessings for success. Om Uttara Shadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Shadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Shadaye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas, 10 light beings who each embody a unique, divine, universal principle. We ask for blessings from all 10 of them, and I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the sun. I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Capricorn, which is Saturn. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara or Capricorn, a zodiac sign that can activate ancient past life skills and abilities, today containing Pluto, a planet that helps with rationality and science. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Kumbha or Aquarius, which today contains Saturn. We honor Saturn, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Saturn is in a star called Satabisha, a star symbolized as an empty circle, and a star with a tremendous amount of healing energy, and also the ability to give interest in esoteric subjects. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Satabishaye Namaha. Om Satabishaye Namaha. Om Satabishaye Namaha. Satabisha star is ruled by Varuna, the archetype who helps with the rains and the oceans. Om Varunaye Namaha. Om Varunaye Namaha. Om Varunaye Namaha. Satyabhisha star is ruled by Rahu. I put the flower petals on Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Now, we honor the planet that rules Aquarius, which is Saturn. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kumbha or Aquarius, the most humanitarian and service-oriented of all the zodiac signs, today containing Saturn, planet of patience and compassion. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Meena or Pisces, which today contains Neptune and the Sun and Jupiter. We start with honoring Neptune, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune is in a star called Purvabhadrapada, a star Dr. Pillai says can help with giving blessings for enlightenment, charity, and purification. I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Purvabhadrapada star is ruled by Aja Ekapada, an archetype who can help us to experience deeper levels of stillness and forgiveness. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Purvabhadrapada star is ruled by Jupiter. I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Next, we're going to honor the Sun and Jupiter. They're both in the same star, so we will honor both of them before we invoke the star. We start with the Sun, and I put flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Next, we honor Jupiter for being in Pisces. I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. The Sun and Jupiter are both in a star called Revati, a star that can give blessings to help with wealth and also with travel. Om Revatiye Namaha. Om Revatiye Namaha. Om Revatiye Namaha. Revati star is ruled by Pushan, an archetype who helps those who are taking care of animals. He helps also with the animals, and he also helps with travelers. Om Pushanye Namaha. Om Pushanye Namaha. Om Pushanye Namaha. Revati star is ruled by Mercury. I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Buddhaheha Namaha. Om Buddhaheha Namaha. Om Buddhaheha Namaha. Now, we honor the planet that rules Pisces, which is Jupiter. I put flower petals on Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Mina or Pisces, a zodiac sign that is the most transcendental and metaphysical of all the zodiac signs, today containing Neptune, planet that helps with our intuition and also with understanding our own inner life. And the sun, which is our soul, and also a planet so important for health and self-esteem. And Jupiter, planet that helps with everything related to spirituality and also can help with wealth and everything related to banking or legal matters. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. Now I take a lit tea light and I hold it in the air above the blackboard chart that has the chart drawn in chalk and the many piles of flower petals. And in the air, I circle the tea light around the chart 3 times in a clockwise direction, offering the element of light to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked. Next, I offer a lit incense stick to represent the air element, and also it has a sweet fragrance. And I circle that above the chart 3 times in a clockwise direction. Next, I ring a bell to offer the element of sound. Now I take a little raisin, a small fruit representing the earth element, and I circle that above the chart 3 times in a clockwise direction. And later in the day, I will eat that little raisin as a piece of prasad or blessed food. Now I make prayer hands and I make sincere prayer to all of the divine beings that we have just invoked, asking them to send their positive blessings into the lives of all of us and also into the lives of our families, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our homes, our workplaces, our schools, our communities, our countries, and indeed the entire world. May everyone on this planet have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, a safe place to live, good clothes to wear, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs, and may everyone on this planet have love in their life, now and always. I pray for enlightened leaders, enlightened citizens, enlightened laws, enlightened countries, and entire enlightened civilizations. I ask for blessings for all of my teachers, past, present, and to come. And I ask for blessings for all of my students, past, present, and to come. And I make a bow. You can continue to make your own prayers in silence for a minute, and then we have time to do a little short Q&A period. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment. Peace, peace, peace. May we all go about our day or our evening in peace. Thank you all so much for joining us. I truly appreciate your participation and your support. Right now, we have time for a short Q&A period. If you want to post questions in the chat, I will do my best to try to answer them. I see Kamal saying, can you direct me to a video or a channel that will explain the stars according to Vedic science? Off the top of my head, I don't have a quick place to send you for that. I have done teaching in the past on the different stars, but I don't have that up anywhere on YouTube in a video form. I know that Kamal says, I would like to have more understanding of this puja. This puja is something that Dr. Pillai taught to myself and Raja Malloy, Mina's brother, many, many years ago. He was sitting in the kitchen in the house that he had back then in Fallbrook. And both Raja and I had been studying astrology, and he had been around some very advanced astrologers in India, the Ashtamangala astrologers. And when they would come over to Chennai to do their work, they would do a puja where they would draw the chart in chalk on a slate floor that was in the building. And they would do puja with the chart, and Babaji was fascinated by that. So he taught Raja and myself a modified form of that puja. So all the steps of that puja are becoming out of what Dr. Pillai taught to us. Now, all of the stars, all of the planets are in a zodiac sign that you're probably familiar with. Within the zodiac system, there are 27 stars. So every planet is in both a sign and also in a star. All of these stars have different qualities, and each of the stars is ruled by an archetype, and it's also ruled by a planet. And so in doing the puja, we're honoring all of those component parts of what the planet is sitting in. And we're also honoring the ruler of the sign that the planet is sitting in. So there are all these component parts to the puja. And I consider people who keep coming back to it day after day, you must be more advanced souls for this puja to be making sense to you. I know most of you aren't necessarily trained in astrology, but if your being is drawn to this puja, I think that you're either very dedicated to helping pray for the world in a group prayer once a day, which is beautiful, or there's just something about the stars and the planets that perhaps you've had a deep connection with in a past life. Astrology is taught in many traditions. It's taught in the Taoist tradition, it's taught in the Buddhist tradition, it's taught in the Vedic tradition. And in ancient times, the people, had no streetlights and things. It was much easier for them to see the stars and the planets at night without all the, the light pollution that we have now in the big cities. Even in the time of Jesus, it's said that when Jesus went to the temple in Jerusalem, in that temple on the floor, the zodiac signs were, the symbols for them were in mosaic on the floor. So this is a very, very ancient practice to be honoring the planets, the stars, etc., in some way. So if this speaks to you, you've probably been exposed to this in some lifetime or other. So there's that. So that's a real thumbnail explanation for the puja. And I'm very happy to be sharing it with everyone. Okay. For myself, when I started doing the puja, there were a lot of realizations and connections that I started to see. Barbara is saying, I was struggling to understand what we were doing. One day I wrote out the steps and it was very helpful for it to make sense. Now I can proceed to understanding the stars and the benefits. Aha, I did write out a document a long time ago that had just explained the steps because I was supposed to teach it in one seminar to a group of people. I don't know if I still have that. If I do, it might be something I could post onto the club.astroved.com site, which is where I'm putting the charts every week. So possibly I could do that so that it might help another reference point for new people to understand what we're doing. So if you've had the patience to sit through this and just keep coming back, I'm greatly appreciative of you. But that is a good refinement. We can always Kaizen things and help make them easier for more people. So that's a good suggestion, Barbara. I might be able to take some of the material about the stars and put them onto the website. That's a bit more of a project because that's like 27 separate little things to have to do. And I'm a bit busy at the moment, but I will definitely see if I can at least maybe refine that document I wrote earlier, if I can find it, and post that there to help the beginners, and then put a link to it in the show more under the video. These are good suggestions. These are good questions. Thank you for letting me know that. It's hard to teach the puja every day, all the steps of it, because if people have been coming, then they're already familiar with that. But this is good to know for helping new people that could come. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out for today. I'm not seeing any other questions. Thank you all for being here. I am doing a free fire lab on Easter Sunday night, North America time, on Sunday this weekend. I've been asked to do one free fire lab a month on the Pillai Center Practice YouTube channel. And so for this month, it's going to be on Easter Sunday, celebrating the resurrection of Jesus, the great miracle. And it will be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So the link is on the Pillai Center Practice channel. You're all invited. It's a public event and it's free. Everyone is welcome. Okay, Kamal, there is information about the stars on the AstroVed website, in the Astropedia section. That might be a place where you could start to learn some further information about the stars. If you go to the www.astroved.com, is a place where you could learn a bit more about the stars. If you search, I think, in the Astropedia or in the free tools section. Okay. Namaste. The light in me truly honors the light in all of you. May light encompass all. I'll be here again tomorrow. Namaste.